see me? I need a stool. All right, so I'm going to try and walk around. So I'm not blocked, but so I'm Christine Fushi. I've been in publishing for 22 years, and accessibility for the last 11. I work mainly in higher education publishing, some K through 12, and recently very niche into EPUBs, if anybody has questions about EPUBs, as well as AI. So we're gonna have a little bit of AI. This is collaborative. Please ask questions at any time. It's no fun to just be talked at. I want to be talked with. We can all learn from our experiences. So One Step Beyond is just, I became a big girl and got an EIN. That's my company. So I can contract and come on the conference circuit. So again, that's who I am. This is my business partner, Ed. He couldn't make it here today, but he is the development side of our organization. One Step Beyond, it was a company that I had. I just rebranded it in 2024. We build digital content, help workflows, and be a partner in success. So today, our objectives are to lead the way to making digital content accessible. So that's web, PDF, EPUBs, any other mediums. Gain some insight into AI and how it can be of use or helpful. Understand the challenges. We're going to have a collaborative and fun exercise, as I like to believe it is. But if you're not going to laugh at my bad mom jokes, you should probably at the door. So remediating inaccessible content. So, things that we see when we're checking with our tools include alt text, color contrast, headers, math, tables, video captioning. Anybody else have other pain points? These are all pain points. So, and then how to remediate it, how best to create alt text. Everybody has their own ideas. It's very hard. What does that really mean? We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into that, and that's where this fun collaborative thing comes from, this little game we have. I should have brought candy. That was my bad. Contrasting tools, tagging the tables, making sure that they're tagged with the proper scopes and rows, and using some solutions, artificial intelligence, WebAIM, and IDEA. So we will dig into alternative text, the role it has, how to write it with verbosity, explore the 5 image types, and then what else can we do? So, so images need textual alternatives. Who believes all images should have alt text? Oh, who believes? Who cares? Who doesn't care? So something that I've tried to do is to make sure that everything has alt text or has a purpose, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt. Obviously, some things are decorative, so you may not want to add some alt text to it, but for the most part, everyone wants to have the same experience. That's why we're trying to be inclusive. That's why we're all here. So alt text is really just a description of images, to be very brief, explain the purpose and within the content and the context that surrounds it. So if you have a caption, are you going to want to repeat that in the alt text? Probably not. So there's just different opportunities and different ways to be able to create the alt text well. And then W3C has a whole boatload of information about the accessible names and their descriptions. So verbosity and textual alternatives. Less is more, is what I like to say, although I'll keep talking all day, so I guess I'm more than less. So verbosity, hearing too much, does that impact your user's experience? Again, less is more. It's an image. We want everyone to know that it's still there, but in what type of way? So you want to really think of it more as like a label, or, not necessarily a button, but a label that, and a name to just add to the context and the content of that stuff. And then explore using a prefix. Do we want it to say a picture of, an image of? In some cases, you do for, again, brevity. If it's a caricature or if it's a bar graph or a pie graph of such. So some prefixes. So if we had a caricature of Barack Obama, we could say caricature, : Barack Obama. Or a flow chart, : and that should all be uppercased. And then a flow chart, how to operate a lamp or whatever that is. Black and white photo of a bridge in New York, yes.
So they should all be uppercase?
Yes, it should say, it should say flow chart with an uppercase F, illustration with a couple of uppercase I, and these all should have a period at the end. I did a terrible job here. Sorry about that. Grammatics. Yeah, just the grammatics of it. And then the period is to know that the screen reader should make a pause. Everything should have a period at the end of it. So yeah. I've updated these slides like up until 30 minutes ago. So yeah, I just kept adding more stuff. So but yeah, so just for the grammatics of it, headshot, Elon Musk, no going any which way there. So there's 5 image types: informational, complex, supplemental, decorative, redundant images, and actionable and functional images. So informational, I had to put the Pope up because he's from Chicago and I'm from Chicago. I already told this joke earlier, and he's a Sox fan, so nobody's perfect, but we'll accept him. But so informational images is what provides to your content. It's purposeful. It plays a role. So we would see, obviously he was elected as Pope. We would want to describe that he was up on the balcony waving to everyone, in the square. This is for more marketing, just to, not to just focus on like publishing or anything here, but this is more marketing. So you would write alt text here, Lucid Cars, history of dominance, rise in the industry. And then surrounding newspaper articles. So I just recently was working with an organization and they were asking me about what do we do with newspaper articles? Are we writing everything down in an alt text or in long description? So I don't think so, not in this particular case at least, right? This I'm, if it was in context, talking in the book about the Titanic, we would say the Boston Daily Globe on whatever date this was, is a newspaper article talking about the Titanic sinking was the headline, and then police order Doer's arrest. So complex images. So when you get to something like this, and we'll talk about it later, I talk about long descriptions. So here we would just talk about, we would say again, bar graph, : fiscal earnings by month of Burger King, whatever. And so, because again, it's brevity, it's suggested to only use about 200 to 250 characters in an alt text, because again, screen readers reading through a lot of information. So only providing what will be useful on the surface. In this case, we would go into a long description, which is an extended description of what this actually means. And so then in that long description, it would talk about physical earnings by month starting in January, 10,000, February, March, April. Supplemental and decorative images. So if this was on, say, a school district website, is this really going to play a huge role in the information provided? No. So you could just leave this alt text blank, but you would want the screen reader will read image and nothing else. So then the screen reader is being lost of what that image was. To skip over it entirely, you could add a tag, role equals presentation, and then it would just say, school district 95, upcoming events or whatever. If this was part of if a teacher posted this to like their student site or their whatever, their apps, they might want to say, Billy Joe Smith, John Doe, Jane Doe, sitting around desks working on books, whatever, reading books, whatever they're doing, just to provide parents, oh, my kid's in this photo, maybe no one knows if your parent or anyone has a special need and maybe relies on the screen reader to understand what's happening. Redundant images, I think that's self-explanatory. And then an actionable functional image. So you may see at the top of screens that there's little buttons, send to, email, Facebook, all of those things. They may be set as images and then you would identify it, but really this would be better off or better suited as a button, labeled as a button. But if it's not, and you need an image, we will want it to say print or send to or save, whatever the functionality is. So this is the fun activity because I'm all about networking. So just in your tables, you can use your alt text from before, right? I'm going to show you 4 images, and together you guys are going to write your own alt text, and then we're going to share. And so for the people on the call, they can write alt text into the chat if they'd like. And then we're going to share. And then we're also going to see how AI writes it as well. AI is not perfect. It needs human review, but we can see the possibilities that can help us move forward with writing alt text, especially if you're in a situation where you're trying to remediate your content. So, okay, so I'll show you about 4 images for a couple minutes, and then craft the best thing you can, and then we'll review about it. So I could put on some Jeopardy music, but so yeah, just don't have to be, just whatever you think you would want to know. Sometimes I close my eyes and try and write it to see if that makes sense to me. All right, I'm going to give you the second image. Yeah, you guys, this one should be, gave you the answer. Pie chart. Okay. Okay. So this is a real world situation. This appears in the real world. And so the real world alt text is tire, wheel, mode of transportation, automotive design, vehicle transport, automotive exterior car, fender, classic car. That's it.
Are you saying this is AI or what is it?
No, this is what is currently out there in the world. This is a real world. It's on the Town and Country magazine website. And it's just, it's the top car. And it just, this talks about 25 classic cars to drive before you die. So you're welcome. You're welcome. We could see what this one says. Oh, fun story. This one has the exact same thing. Tire, wheel, motor vehicle, made of transport, automotive design, automotive tire vehicle, blah, 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 blah. But you should drive a Jaguar. This one is different. Tire vehicle, automotive design, land vehicle, car, hood, fender, classic car, alloy wheel, sports car. I'm gonna call these people. So.
Doing that for SEO.
Oh, well, that's not the right spot for it. That's not the right spot. So the question was, or the comment was, it seems like they're doing it for search engines, but not the right spot for it. What's the, you know what, I don't know. What is the right spot for things like this, is Abe? Yeah. So all of you in this room by, let's see. So we're all gonna come to back to Access U 25 years from now. And we should all, or not 25, but we should see who has driven all of these cars, 25 classic cars. All right, cool. So not the right spot. So we've learned something today. Thank you. So now what I would like to do is find my presentation. And show you what AI would say. There's a lot happening on this computer. Sorry, hang on. Okay, so if I were to put this in, so AI is obviously in our life, whether we like it or not. And it can be helpful. And so all I'm going to ask it to do is write alt text for this image, limiting to 250 characters, paste the image in, and we're going to see what it says. Does anybody want to share their thing?
Old-fashioned looking stylish silver roadster, but with scissor doors in the up position.
Oh, nice. Sorry. Yeah.
Old-fashioned looking stylish silver roadster, but with scissor doors in the up position.
Anybody else? This is just a fun activity. Yeah. Nobody's right or wrong. Except for him.
Gray classic car with its door open like wings, as it were flying like a bird.
Oh, fun. Good. So, Jemmy, as I like to call her, says, a silver Mercedes-Benz 300 SL with its gull-wing doors open, a small overlay says the host would like you to unmute and stay muted. Oh, because I had. Hilarious. All right, when you do the survey, make sure you do like a 10 out of 10 for humor. In the last one, I was with Darren, I said, we are not like technology people. We just can tell you about stuff, you know, like, so, and as I was hitting it, I was like, I wonder if this is going to show up or not. Anywho. And so the other one, oh, so this one, okay. So it remembers that I already put another image in earlier. So anyway, so this would be fine. I mean, obviously not the host, but, sometimes, you know, AI kind of provides its own opinion, obviously not what you want to put in there, but in the context, I think all of these are correct, right? So it's just a fun thing for us to just take a look. Does anybody have one about nails before I show you what it actually says? So great.
8 primitive nails in a row and a penny laid out on a brown surface.
Leslie, I know you've done this 500 times.
work together.
Yeah.
8 small handmade nails compared in size to a penny. Because it looked like the way they had, the point of
Right.
the penny was the size of the nails.
So the real one says nails with penny. No period, drives me bananas. Okay, so in the real world, oh shoot, it's not gonna open because I'm not in the presenter. Hold on one second. So in the real world, I guess let's see what this one says for fun, for funsies. Antique nails and US penny, very helpful. Okay. So here it is. This talks about the ancient Egyptians and Romans used organic glue for wood furniture, especially with decorative veneer techniques. So this is all just different antique nails and showing to scale. So when I put it into Gemini, I had done this earlier, so it already came out, but 7 small rusted antique nails with varying head shapes and sizes are arranged in a row on a textured tan surface next to a US penny for scale. So, okay. And then the last one, yes.
But it seems like the alt text could be better based on the context. We were talking about Egyptian.
Mhm.
Is there any way that you could put the image and the text into the AI to have it build the alt text based on the context?
You could, but you would want to still keep it brief enough, right? But would you want it to be repetitive? Right? Like, would that make sense? 8 antique nails used during these times. That would add context. Sure.
Educational publisher, that is a very good question. And one that I do consider with a lot of our alt text is in, if that were a lesson, what would we be trying to learn from it?
Mhm.
So anytime you're examining alt, you really have to consider who the audience is and what the purpose of this image is.
Yep.
And, why are you even showing this image? What does it say to us? But then you do have to be careful of not being redundant of the actual text. So it's tricky sometimes,
Mhm.
but you do have to be sure you describe it sufficiently.
Mhm. So this is from Lucid Car, this is a Tesla, sorry. This is what's on there. Lunar Silver Model X driving down a highway surrounded by low woodlands with mountains in the background. There are mountains over there, but that's dumb. That's dumb. There's also no period. I'm gonna go,
And those,
it's also not driving down a road.
we hope.
How many, I have seen 8 of those Waymos.
Yeah.
Waymos, what are they?
Well, I think it's the same one, it's just.
Oh, it's just driving around, my God. Uh-huh. So anyway, so obviously, they're wrong. So does anybody have one while I go throw this girl into AI?
Can't shut me up.
I was like, no, that's not the right one.
Blue compact car with bill doors in the opposition parked in a lot next to a beach on a sunny day. Just that.
A blue Tesla Model X with its Falcon wing doors open, parked on a road near a beach. Jemmy's my girl. I like her. She doesn't write. Falcon wings, yeah. Maybe because it's a newer car. I don't know. Okay, thank you. Oh, our last one. Let me put this back up here. Okay. Oh, oop. Okay. I didn't follow my own rule. So it should say pie graph : pie graph representing fiscal earnings by month. And then I didn't include all the tagging that would go into a long description, obviously, but this is one way you can do it by using a list. So, you know, however you do your long description, fiscal earnings by month for X company, and then bullet point it instead of making it, you know, a run-on, so.
Christine, where are you gonna put that? Because I just want to point out, I don't know how everybody is with HTML,
Yep.
but you cannot put UL or a li into an alt, but you must be putting it somewhere else completely.
Correct.
So I just wondered where you are put.
So we would, in my experience, we would put it in a separate file for the long description.
And do you provide a link to that file?
Mhm.
Like a text
Yes.
file?
Correct. Correct.
So-
In my experience.
Yeah, one way that we do it is we actually have a technique to put it in the details element that opens up under the image.
Okay.
And you can format it there.
There.
Which, you know, but you can't, of course, format it inside the alt.
Right. Not here, in a different file. Yep.
Maybe you're going to get to this, but what about figure and fig caption? Putting the HTML list in a fig caption tag. And then you could disable it visually, so
Visually.
that it's only played to screen reader users.
Then you get off of your long, then wouldn't have to put it in a long description, you mean? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
The way we've always done it, like, for example, we would say, this is a pie graph with fiscal earnings by month. Details can be found under such a heading or under in this appendix or,
Mhm.
you know, and under the fig caption, or we would describe where the information can be found. And, yeah.
Do you? I have a question.
I'm just gonna say that, especially for something like this, I would like to have it available to all users because there are gonna be, sighted users who find this image challenging to adjust,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And so I think having it, you know, only available to screen readers might not be my choice, right? I agree that having somewhere where any user could choose, hey, I'd rather see this, right, in a
Mhm.
list as opposed to go around the circle.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
That would be easier for me to.
Right. Let's hope it's in the context. About the content. Okay. So this was my very first image that I ever put into an AI, and I just like to bring it back. So this is like 3 years ago. So I put this image in there and it came back with this. It's a ceremonial bell ringing event at the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois with a group of uniformed zoo staff standing in formation behind the bell and a cord puller in front. The bell is silver with a blue and white cord, and staff are wearing dark blue uniforms with white hats and gloves. The event is taking place on a sunny day on a grassy field with trees in the background. So, fun story. This is not at the Brookfield Zoo. This is a service for a fallen firefighter, and they're doing a ceremony. I live a mile from the Brookfield Zoo. And for a moment, I was like, is somebody in this house with me? I don't know how it knew, because I had never used anything before. I was like, oh, let me throw this in there. So I threw it in there, and this is what it came back with. So 3 years to compare it to today, you know, obviously, I think it shows that it's gotten better. But I always like this one because, first of all, way too many details. Second of all, completely wrong. And who cares if it's in a grassy field with trees in the background? So we do our best with what we are given. The famous person that said that was me. I'm trying to get that to go viral. So we all do our best, right? And we need tools. Everyone does, and it's okay. And you just have to use it in the right way. And to make your product more accessible for yourself and for your users. So How do you do it? Human intelligence versus artificial intelligence. So who is smarter? So we've taught AI what we know, and now AI is teaching us how to do things more structured or better. It all depends on your prompts. I feel that I've learned a lot, structure wise and what really needs to happen. I mean, I do alt text anyway, but writing alt text, I mean, I'm lazy, so I would go to AI. But from the beginning 3 years ago when I would write alt text to today is a lot different. I've learned a lot more. I probably don't need AI as much, but it's a tool that's out there that we can use cautiously. And then just I just talked about the who, what, and how. Us versus artificial intelligence and all of the large language models out there that are available. Does anybody use anything aside from those ChatGPT or Gemini, or anybody's ever used an AI that you think is really solid? Yes. How is that?
It really, I think it's really helpful. I work in a college,
Mhm.
my faculty really respond to it. It also pulls out of it pulls up text out of images. So the faculty, especially like programming faculty,
Mhm.
they just love to take screenshots, right?
Mhm.
And so it's really helpful because it provides all three of those, alt text, long description, and then any text in the image, and it does that right away. But we also, I mentioned to her, we had a case of a faculty member with very low technology skills who had it was an art history course, and like there were 250 images per PowerPoint per class with a blind student. And you can download a zip file with all those images, upload it into ChatGPT, and at least it gives you something to start with. We do it with the course objective
Mhm.
prompt. And especially for that faculty member, it really I mean, otherwise we would not have met that.
Right,
standard.
right.
So I think those are two cases that. it's helpful.
In my agency, we use the Office 365 Microsoft caption generation.
Okay.
It shows us a proper example of what not to use.
What not to use.
Right. So the AI generation from Office 365 is horrible. So that you use that as an example to say, do you want this to go inside your report, or do you want something to write it yourself?
Are you using it for which purpose? Like what organization? Like education or?
For TWDB, for Texas Waterfront Board. So we have a lot of scientific report.
Okay.
We deal with a lot of different vendors. So we're requiring our external vendor to make the document accessible.
Okay.
But a lot of us don't know how to do it.
How to
So they
do
come to us for additional information.
Okay.
So we walk them through Word documents.
Okay.
And we basically open up their report and show them, this is what AI generated for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure this is what the image is saying to this? It
Yeah.
is what it is. And
Okay.
usually chances are they're not agreeing with that.
Right.
And I say, we agree with that,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to fix that, but we're not paying you.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I was just working for an organization where procurement. They can't have, they won't, the school won't procure them unless they've got their VPAT.
We have another site for you,
Oh, good.
alttext.ai.
Oh,
Upload your image and it will create
I'll text her.
alt text. Oh, my apologies.
Oh, it's okay.
The site is alttext.ai.
Great. Have you used it?
Yes, a few times.
Few times.
It does a
One.
pretty decent job. I usually go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's hard for that thing to know your
Yeah.
It's hard for it to know the context.
Right.
So usually that's the times I've used it, it gets the description right, but then I just add a little bit more to give a little bit more context.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, at my former company and my current company, I helped manage creating a tool to remediate EPUBs. I mentioned that I've been very involved in EPUBs, which is HTML, similar, obviously similar to the web-based tagging and such. And so we created, we were remediating 1,700 EPUBs for a publisher, Pearson, for accessibility. And so we built a tool that helped us remediate alt text programmatically, text or tables, tables programmatically, saving time. And so I, in my organization with Ed, have started working on a similar tool where you can upload an EPUB or a PDF. It extracts out the photos, writes your alt text, saves it, and then you take it to wherever you want to go. So it's called IDEA. And so it ingests the content, gives you image counts, page counts, doesn't check for WCAG yet, but it will, and helps with the alt text generation. So this is just a snippet of the tool where it has it here, and then the alt text gets generated. And then farther down, you save your EPUB, checks it through, download it back out. So what else needs remediation? Tables. So if you have this textual table, which we all know is inaccessible, and you need to create for an EPUB or a web HTML, you can throw this into Gemini or AI, and it will provide you an accessible table tagging. If you ask it to tag this table for accessibility, and it includes your scopes, your caption if you need one. And it's important to have the proper tagging because of the screen reader. So it's reading the rows and the columns and the data accordingly. That's where a lot of the problems lie. Do the same for math. Over here, this is all just blobber, but on the left side is the MathML, and then other ASCII math and LaTeX. So currently I'm auditing a site, and these are just sort of snippets that I have found that might be helpful for tagging. So up in the corner, I mentioned how there was a send to save. I don't remember the second one's font up and font down. On a screen reader, it's repeating their purpose twice. And I wasn't sure completely why. And so I threw in the current tagging to Gemini, and I told them that I'm getting a repetitive name on every icon and what I need. And so what it did was it added the title, it populated title, and then added an ARIA label. And so I put that back into my HTML on my webpage, and it solved the problem. So I've used it several times for things like that. Purposeful links. So currently there's a section of the site that just has little boxes, and if you click on it, it doesn't tell you what it's doing. Yes, Leslie, go ahead. Go back.
On that previous page, you said that the current tagging was repetitious.
Mm-hmm.
So were you finding it reading the title as well as the visually hidden span?
It could have been.
Is that what you were at? Okay.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, but it must have been, but it stayed over here. So it's not reading it.
On the modified tagging, it was not repeating.
Correct.
Okay, but
think
on the modifying tagging, I am puzzled as to why the
So was I.
hidden send to and the ARIA label Those are actually repetitious of each other and you don't need that ARIA label.
No.
If the ARIA label says into,
So I did it with just send to and I continued to get a double,
but when you put that in.
but I added ARIA label, then I,
And why in that code do you need a visually hidden send to if you have an ARIA label on the button? I'm thinking you could just skip that.
Skip it.
span. That visually hidden span could just be skipped
skipped,
because the ARIA label is saying.
is now there.
everything you needed to say.
Yeah,
And it's in the button, which a button is an interactive element, so it will read the ARIA label.
oh,
So I just,
so this wasn't a button over here.
uh,
Now it's a button.
that's interesting.
Gemini's wrong?
Well, you might. Is that side, the AI?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they need that span.
The span class.
I think that ARIA label will take care of everything that they need. But how do they know it's a button? I mean, how do we know for sure it's a button? Just because it has a icon, because it's an icon?
hmm
Okay.
You think it deduced because it's sent to, that's an action, and it should be a button?
right,
That would be really smart.
yeah,
Helpful, and but having the FA sharp, FA regular, all those are icons. So. But they're all icons, is each one of them supposed to be a button?
well, they're each actionable,
One,
each one, yeah, it's send to, save, I don't remember what the check one, font up, font down. So I have to actively click on the plus to increase the font. I could show you it, guys, don't tell anybody what the website was.
AI is wrong. but-
AI is wrong.
It's officially, I think that is redundant.
Do you think, okay, right.
Because it's all outside the button.
Well, I wasn't sure, I mean, I'm not, yes, it's all, EPUB and HTML are similar, so I wasn't sure if this was something. Well, same criteria, same guidelines, right?
Built.
Right, so it'd be the same stuff. Yeah,
It won't say it twice, since that was what you're trying to avoid, because the ARIA label will block the button.
right,
There's physical text or not physical text, it's still gonna block. it.
okay, I'll have to
Okay,
try it
I
out.
was just
No,
curious.
all good information, right? So this one doesn't have purposeful text. If I were to click or use keyboard navigation to get into any of those squares, it's not telling me what it's doing. It's not telling me that it's going to a different place or a different window or what it can do for me. So it is a PDF. And so the current tagging was on this side. And so I input it and told it that I need meaningful words. And so now it announces, the screen reader announces the download, free research planner, PDF, opens in a new tab. Yep. Now that you say the next one, that doesn't make sense. Yep.
It is great that it says, the ARIA label that says.
Yep.
download Free research planner PDF
Mhm.
opens in a new tab. I really appreciate that it says that, because I get really upset when they don't.
Mhm. But,
There is no need for that tab index on either set of code. The tab index equals 0 is it's just useless because
mm,
this is a link. And
Yep.
a link by its very native nature receives focus. So there is no reason to have a tab index equals 0. But a lot of people, when they're testing, don't perceive that it's useless.
right,
Because it works the same with or without.
Without.
Because the link is all you need. You don't need the tab index equals 0. A hyperreference will take care of that.
okay.
So AI has improved this by adding opens in a new tab, but they're repeating redundant code.
And so my prompt to this was, tell me where it's going. So I wonder if I prompt it to say, do I need a tab index 0 if it'll come back?
That's an interesting question about AI. Is AI gonna voluntarily correct your code? Or only what you ask it to correct?
Right,
If you asked it in open-ended questions like, What suggestions? If you ask it in open-ended questions, like what suggestions do you have for this code to improve its accessibility and usability? Like what would it come up with without a specific prompt?
That's a good question.
See, that's why we're here, to learn. All right, so I'm gonna take the current tagging. And I'm going to ask it to do. All right. Actually, I think it's up here. Hold on. If I can spell, nope.
Oh,
Oh, here it is. So I had so here was my original prompt. Add an ARIA label attribute in the source codes that the screen reader announces the link text descriptively.
You want to add to it and correct any other errors you may see.
Any other accessibility?
What suggestions do you have for accessibility and usability?
What suggestions do you have for usability and accessibility? Is that what you said?
Sounds good.
It's working, it's just, okay. Oh dear, okay. Oh, stop. Oh, it's because I hit it too many times. Oh, no, maybe I didn't.
Still going.
It's thinking. What is up here? Is this the add an ARIA label? Oh, no, that's it. Okay. I hit it too many times. I've added the ARIA label attribute to the A tag. The value of this attribute is a descriptive text that combines. Okay. Consider removing stretched link if it causes visual focus issues. Ensure clear visual distinction of the link. Provide a download indicator. Review tab order. Ensure that tab index 0 is appropriate for the overall tab order of the page.
Is it possible to zoom your browser a little bit?
Yeah, sorry, you're right. My bad. I know, the older I get too. Oof. The older I get, the colder I get. Okay. So consider removing stretched link. Because that may be difficult to visually focus. Ensure clear visual distinction of the link. While the card appearance provides some visual cue, make sure the link itself has a distinct visual style. That's fine. Target under blank often implies a new window tab, explicitly mentioning a PDF download, which it is. Ensure the tab index equals 0 is appropriate. So it advised us. And then the PDF itself is not accessible. I can just tell you that right now. So let's see what it said. Let's see what the new tagging was. Oh, here, let's do a side by side, I guess. Sorry, guys. It's not fun. Actually, let me just make this a new page. So left tab index in there, gave us the ARIA. So it just gave us what I wanted it to do, but then suggested, which makes sense, and then it suggested what we should take out.
I think the thing that's really interesting about AI is how good you have to get at asking it the right question.
Right,
And so
right.
You asked for recommendations, so it went with the code you had, but it made suggestions. It did make a comment about the focus order, and it did sort of in an offhanded way explained that you didn't really need tab index, but it still included it. Did you see what it said about tab index?
Make this content, make this block of code accessible. So I just took what was proposed and we'll see, maybe it'll take it out. Nope. So left tab index of that in there. I don't think it did,
Just don't agree with that.
right? Well, I asked it to do what it just told me to. And it didn't do it. Oh, visually hidden. I've added a span element with the class visually hidden. Oh, for CSS. Okay, well, I hope that just didn't slow down the whole thing. I hope that was useful for people, so, okay. Nope, wrong thing. Oh, for goodness sakes. So I added this today only because we were talking earlier about, so we're talking about we're talking about correcting content, but where are we correcting the content? So I think we've sort of talked about, EPUBs and web similar, they're under the WCAG guidelines. So to update your website, obviously you would use whoever's building it to make those updates. If you had an EPUB and you wanted to update your EPUB, you have an EPUB, now what? To edit it, you could, there's tools to use to explode an EPUB, as I like to say. So an EPUB is just a zip of the XHTML files. And if you're on a PC, you can use, your 7-zip to extract. And then when you're done making edits, you would compress it back together. Or if you're on a Mac, there's a tool called eCan Crusher, because that's just fun. And that explodes your EPUB. You can make edits using an XML editor. And then zip it back up. Same thing on PC, use an XML editor to make changes. An EPUB is structured similarly to this. It has a container, content.opf, which is, the spine of your book that includes everything that's in it. The content files, fonts, CSS. And when you have an EPUB and you want to test it for accessibility, you can use Ace by Daisy. It's a free tool. Drop the EPUB in and it tells you and checks for WCAG requirements, best practices, and an EPUB check. Does anybody use EPUBs? Does anybody want to use EPUBs? Does anybody hate PDFs? Should have led with that question. Okay, well, if you hate PDFs, Darren and I can help you move to EPUBs. So if you have Word, so I don't know if anybody caught the session earlier by Darren, you can use, if you have a Word document that is accessible, you can use a tool Ace by Daisy that's called Word to EPUB, and then it can convert that for you. So this is Ace by Daisy. Desktop tool or command line, just drop it in there. And then it will come up and it will tell you which violations you may have. WCAG 2.0, A, AA, AAA, 2.1, 2.2, and then EPUB check. So critical, serious. Similarly, on a website, you could use Axe DevTools, and same criteria that pops up, or any products that you may have that are web-based, will provide the same criteria for you. Digging in. Go ahead.
Right, so I love the idea of EPUB. We don't currently use it,
Mhm.
but we do, like, we're not using them, but we are using them from Vital Source. for
Yes,
example.
right.
So let's say that we wanted to check and make sure that a product via Vital Source was accessible. can we use that in this context, or no, we would do, like, do manual
Sure.
testing and wave or something like that?
Right, right. So so ACE is only if you have a physical EPUB, yes. But depending on where you're getting your EPUB, which publisher you're getting your EPUB from, VitalSource has a tab in there that talks about accessibility, and it will tell you. So for example, Pearson, Macmillan, several others. There's a program, there's a company called Benetech, and they're a nonprofit organization that ensures workflows and EPUBs are accessible. They're governed by, oh, not governed, checked and balanced by DAISY. So that makes them a certified people to tell you if your workflow is certified. So Pearson will go to Pearson, Macmillan, McGraw-Hill, will go to Benetech, and they will send them 3 EPUBs. And Benetech checks them using ACE, ACE Smart, which is sort of ACE on steroids, and then a manual check. They provide a report that tells you what's wrong with your EPUB. You fix that, but you really are fixing it in your workflow. So the workflow, because you obviously want to work upstream, not downstream. You want to work upstream to fix that. So eventually everything will be accessible. So if you want to make sure that your every HTML page has a title, every image has an alt text, headers, whatever else. So then once the publisher certifies itself, they get a stamp. It's called the GCA Global Certified thing. So I can show you. So VitalSource just recently changed how it looks. But if you go to an EPUB, and at least if it's Macmillan, Pearson, Cengage, they should say certified by Benetech. So you know it's accessible to the most part. But there is no online check for an EPUB. Fair? Leslie, Darren, yeah? There's no like, you have to look at it. You have to do the work. ACE, it's for an individual if you have the downloaded. Yeah.
It's for the vendor, not for.
No, anybody can use ACE. Oh, yeah. Right, because it's online. If you had an EPUB like on your desktop, like a physical EPUB.
If it's online, you can check it with ACE.
If it's on like VitalSource or Amazon or something, like if you're reading it off of a web-based
I guess my question.
place.
What form does ACE check the document?
Yep.
Where does it need to be for ACE to check?
So let me pull it up. So I have ACE on my desktop, or so you download it either, and so you can use it on your desktop or using a command line. And then if you have an EPUB, like on your machine, which I do. All right, hang on. All right, everybody close their eyes. Don't look at what I'm writing. Okay, we'll use this one. So ACE is going to pull up slowly. Okay. So I can drop this EPUB because I have it on my machine. And it's going to check it. Now, if you're using VitalSource, hang on, everybody close their eyes. Don't look at my text messages. 1 second. I just want to get an ISBN here. Let's see. Okay. So here is the accessibility So if somebody bought an EPUB on VitalSource and they are looking at it on their bookshelf, on the web, there's no check to see if it's accessible. If you download the EPUB and then put it into Thorium that you have on your machine, which is a screen reader, or VitalSource Bookshelf, they have a download. If you have that EPUB on your machine, you can drop it into ACE. Okay. So this is the accessibility tab in VitalSource. Red Shelf should also have one. I don't know if anybody else does, but so this is the metadata that EPUBs have in their metadata, not in their content.opf file. So it will tell you that appearance of the text and page layout can be modified according to capabilities of reading systems. Content can be read as read aloud or dynamic braille. The publication contains conformance statement that meets the criteria. This publication was certified by Credential is, they just changed this recently. But anyway, down here it says Benetech. So, and then here is where the credential lies as well. So then you know for sure that that's accessible. Now, McGraw-Hill doesn't have a Benetech stamp yet, but they're getting certified. But like there's a vendor that's going to look at that, because if you want to distribute in Europe, you have to have a check by somebody. Whether they've gone through an official check or not. So.
And those there that check and it's the nationality. Check in the captions, it's the nationality check.
Oh, gotcha. So going back to, oh, so this didn't work. Okay. Well, it worked, this worked earlier. And so that's what's in my presentation of, this here. I dropped that file in earlier. So 3 serious, 2 EPUB checks. EPUB check is, you should have no errors, like no errors. You could have warnings, but if you have a problem with an EPUB check, it's not going to render correctly in Thorium or anywhere. So that's really the main goal. Accessibility, obviously, you want to fix all criteria, at least requirements. Best practices, you don't have to necessarily do, but at least in the first round of your scope. So I talked about exploding your EPUB. So this is the EPUB right here, obviously .epub. Once you explode it, either 7 or expanded from 7-zip or eCanCrusher, it turns into a folder. And then your folder has all of these files, your CSS, your images, your long alt, package OPF, TOC, and then the XHTML. You take the XHTML files, which is all the content, and you open it into a text editor. So you open up that file, and then you have, this is all those files on this side with all the text and the tagging. And then you can see what it looks like if you want it in a preview. So this is where you would edit your EPUB. So easier to edit an EPUB than a PDF. If you wanted to change a heading, like there's a misspelling, you needed to change it, you could explode your EPUB, fix it, zip it up, push it along, whatever your workflow may be though. If you need to fix tagging or write alt text or fix your tables, you could do it here. This is also what your vendor does if you have a vendor that's making these EPUBs for you. So. PDF testing. So I just wanted to throw this in here for accessibility purposes. I'm sure everyone is familiar with PDF accessibility checkers. Yeah. So Adobe Pro has it, obviously. This is their summary report. You can also use PAC3. You can check your accessibility tags for reading order, alt text, paragraph headings. PDF is crucial, well-tagged PDF is crucial for users who rely on assistive technology. PDF remediation. I had a PDF pulled up here. I just wanted to show that. So to check your PDF for accessibility, you have all tools. This isn't a pro, so it's a paid one. You have to pay for it. Prepare for accessibility, check for accessibility, and then start checking. It will tell you over here. So the first stop is accessibility tags. This has accessibility tags, so you at least know something's right. The structure of it starts with the document and then filters down. This one is pretty good considering it has math. But H1, H2s, paragraphs, figures, this one was pretty good. To get your report, you can go to Checker, show report, which again provides you all of your details. An example of one that is not, bless you, one that's not accessible, first check accessibility tags, no tags. Well, too bad. Send it back. You're not going to do anything with this. Now there is a way here that you can run it to create auto tag the document. I've run it on this one before. It did do well. It fixed this, it changed this, it created this as a list is what it really was really good. Appendix A up there is an image, so it wasn't the best choice of layout. There's a bunch of PDF information, blah, blah, blah. So beware, from AI point of view, we now have this whole copyright, digital rights stealing thing. I just had a conversation last night about AI and, I mean, we've now, this should have been taken care of at the beginning. They should have figured this out. But you're now putting things into AI. We are putting things into AI. And now we're asking for it to return like AI art. And people are obviously mad about it because it's scrubbing other people's stuff. I was there during print to digital evolution. And then all of a sudden we had to stop everything because we needed digital rights. And then people weren't giving you digital rights. You couldn't put it on the web or you couldn't make your digital products. So we're in this copyright disaster. Can we trust it? I think we've all learned today that we can't. Is it the answer to our hopes and dreams? Nope. It's not making us pancakes. Can we 100% say it's producing exactly nuts on? No. Will AI impact our own human intelligence? And it's still a baby. We're still growing with it. So do we have questions? I appreciate the questions throughout.
So you used AI to work with web code and images. Have you used it at all to actually touch Word documents or PDFs directly?
I threw in a PDF the other day, just random, which I'd never done before, and I asked it to give me a bullet, or I threw in a PowerPoint. Is it a PowerPoint? It was a PowerPoint, and I asked it to provide me high level topics. What I'm noticing now, and I don't know, maybe it's just my usage of it, is that it's remembering things pretty far back. And so I'm now having to say new topic, blah, blah, blah. So it wasn't the best when I threw the PowerPoint in or whatever it was to get it back, but I haven't used it to ask it for like word accessibility or anything. So. So I'm Christine Fushi. I'm on LinkedIn. My website is os-beyond.com.
I'd like to share some observations. One, I've been using AI to generate images, and I find that skill is applicable to, writing alt text. It's a very worthwhile, I think, exercise for people who need to improve their alt text skills. Another thing is, I have some, standard prompts, engineering prompts, for AI. One is when I'm writing, HTML, is write an HTML5 table using strict and valid HTML. Don't include any unnecessary tag attributes or styles. Make it WCAG 2.2 level AA compliant. And do not use any more ARIA or JavaScript than necessary. Intent for markup for readability. I found that produces great results.
Really?
It's not perfect, I still
Right,
have to go through it.
Right.
But I have to correct less when I do that. And
That's
another
great.
one, for writing, I ask it to write for an 8th grade reading level
Yes.
in active voice and no redundant words or phrases.
Yeah, that's what, I think that's something K through 12. You know, obviously, when this all started, it was looking to do that, right? To have the same content, but distributed for different, audiences. I think another thing to, if you haven't never done this before, not necessarily just for alt text, but for understanding people with disabilities, is be a visual interpreter for someone and telling them how, like having someone who is low vision or blind share their screen with you. So they tab and they've got a screen reader going and you tell them, oh, you're here, oh, you're there. It is the most valuable experience that I've ever had. It's just very simple. And I think it's useful. Like we could all sit at home behind a desk and try and do things for people for accessibility, but it's till you actually are at conferences or you know, working with others. That's how you learn. So